All right. Now, Quincy Jones, the famous musician, producer, he once said, as it relates to music, there are two types of success. There's one where you reach your musical goals, and there's one where you reach financial goals. And they're different. Today I want to talk about just being a musician. It won't be anything comprehensive, but just a few things that musicians have to do in order to achieve either their musical goals or their financial goals. And I also want to talk about a couple of benefits of being a musician in general. So hopefully, by the end of this speech, you all will be able to take something away from, being a musician, see the benefits of it, and things like that. So, one thing that musicians, they have to do, they have to surround themselves with other musicians. The musical culture that I come from, I'm a church musician, we call it shedding. And I know shed, that's kind of an unfamiliar term, like as far as it relates to music. But in our textbook, it talks about how our language can adapt with our culture. And so I don't know how shed became the word for practicing, but basically, it's just a group of musicians coming together, just kind of locking in on a groove, and we're just all vibing with each other. So that's a shed. And so you can learn so much from that experience because you're just absorbing things from other musicians. You're taking, different licks and chops and things like that. And another thing that musicians have to do, they have to practice. It's like, I can't overemphasize that enough. Like, you have to practice if you want to be a musician. Like, there's no way of getting around it. No matter what your musical goals are, you have to put in countless hours practice in order to achieve your goals. Gerald Klickstein, he's a classical guitarist, he said that practice is the process of absorbing repertoire and polishing skills so that you can become a better artist. You build patience, elegance, clarity, and balance as you ascend toward endless musical growth. And that's what musicians, they want to do. They want to keep growing so they can continue to, get better jobs, just other opportunities. Another thing as a musician, you have to maintain a positive attitude. You're going to mess up. There's going to be times, when things don't go quite right. You also have to, oh man, I messed up. Let me go back to practicing. Not only do you have to practice the right things, you have to practice the right, things. You have to have a foundation. You have to learn your basics as a musician. You have to learn your music theory, things like that. Now let me go back to the attitude. You have to maintain a positive attitude. John Wooden once said that your ability may get you to the top, but it's your character that keeps you there. And that's so true as it relates to music, because you can be so talented, but your attitude can be terrible and people will not want to work with you. So that will mess you up. Now that I've gone over some of the principles that musicians kind of have to live by, just a few things. Just want to go over a couple of benefits of being a musician. If you play an instrument, according to musicouch.com, studies have shown that students who play music generally have higher test and IQ scores than students who are not musically inclined at all. So that's pretty cool. It also relieves stress. I can attest to that, especially trying to put this presentation together. I was stressed out. I had to put on a couple of tunes and just try to relax. Also, just playing an instrument is fun. I mean, there's nothing like getting up on stage or just getting with your friends on an instrument and just kind of expressing yourselves. So just in conclusion, I talked about some of the principles. I talked about practicing. I talked about maintaining a positive attitude, getting with other musicians. Talked about some of the benefits of becoming a musician. And hopefully you all will become inspired to pick up an instrument. I know there's a lot of music lovers in here. I think somebody said they played in the high school marching band. But yeah, hopefully you all will consider, either if you don't play an instrument, try to pick up one. It's not too late. And if you do play one, I'll be shedding after class. So that's it. Thank you.